Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Alchemist Babe podcast, where we are talking about all things mindset, manifestation, motherhood, so you can start to manifest your reality and be the alchemist of your life. Today, we are talking about a topic that I really love this topic. I recently got started learning about this about 3 years ago, and my sister-in-law actually told me that I should make a video and a podcast about it. So here we are. We are cracking the code of numerology. You might be thinking, what is the point of this? Like, what is the purpose of numerology? They're just numbers. But if you're somebody that has always seen like 1111, or you see these repeated numbers, some numbers just kind of feel more homey to you. They just give off this vibe, and you're wondering if that's just a coincidence. It is actually not. Numbers and numerology is the secret language of the universe, but it's not really that secret. And diving into understanding numerology and what these numbers mean can tell you so much about yourself, about your life, about other people. There is a gentleman he's all over social media. I believe he goes by Gary the Number Guy, but he always wears a hat that says GG33. That is the first guy that I seen start to talk about numerology, and it was back in, I think it was like 2023. And he was talking about like the year being a 7. And I didn't really think much about it, didn't dive much more into it. The following year, 2024, those numbers added up to 8. And then he started talking about, if you are an 8, or if you're a dragon in the zodiac, Chinese zodiac year, this is your year, and all of these things. And that is what clued me into it, because I am a dragon. That is the year that I was born in, and in your Chinese astrology, whatever year you're born, you're designated to an animal, and you can actually have enemy signs, enemy animals. You'll have enemy or animals that you pair well with, people that you're better off in relationships with. Just all of these things play a part. And so I'm a dragon. Obviously he was talking about me, so I'm more intrigued. And then I further dove into his page, and he started talking about numerology and numbers and life path numbers and the day that you're born on, and like all of these things. And it was so much fun learning about, and there's so much information out there. And if you're somebody that's like seeing repeated numbers, you are going to start to understand what these numbers mean. Like, what is the universe trying to communicate to you? What is it trying to tell you? What are the signs that, God and the universe is giving you? But also, you can use this in your advantage for when you are planning out your life, or when you are meeting certain people and you figure out when they're born, or the house that you move into. The number that's on your house also plays a huge role in what's going to happen in that household. And I'm going to talk about all of these things, and I'm going to give a small breakdown of each number. Obviously, I recommend going to find more about whatever your numbers are, or the numbers that you see more repeatedly. But this is more than just your angel numbers, seeing like 888 somewhere or 111 somewhere. This is like diving into how these numbers actually affect your personality and who you are at your core. So let's dive into it. Each number has a vibration to it. I know we talk a lot about the laws of the universe, how everything has a frequency, everything is energy. Numbers are the same. So each number has its own frequency, like a radio station, for example. And it's not like you can tune into one or the other and switch around. You are basically, when you are born on a day of the month, that frequency is like implanted into you, and that's going to be your personality. So all of the numbers hold different frequencies, and you have something called your life path number, and then like the day that you were born on. So your life path is basically taking all of the numbers of your birthday and adding them up to a total. So for example, my birthday, I was born May 1st of 2000. So the month is 5, the day is 1, and the year is 2000. So 5 plus 1 plus 2 equals 8. So my life path is an 8. And I want you to take some time, think of your birthday. When are you born? What is the year? Add all those digits up. If you get a digit, for example, like 16, like say your total is 16, then you're going to add the 1 and the 6 together. That makes a 7, okay? If you get a number like 13, same thing. You're going to add the 1 and the 3. That's going to be 4. You're going to be a 4 life path. So basically, add all of your numbers up to get the smallest number. Single digit number. There is things called master numbers, but we're going to talk about that after. Your master numbers are like 11, 33, 22, I believe. These master numbers are on like a different frequency, so they don't actually condense down. So 11 doesn't condense down to 2. 20 or 33 doesn't condense down to 6. It just is what it is. So your life path number is actually going to tell you about your purpose in life. And the day that you were born on, if you're born on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, that is going to tell you about your personality. And when I start diving into these, I'll touch a little bit on each number and let me know if it relates to you and you see yourself in these digits. Or maybe people that you know, your siblings, your family, your friends that are born on those dates, if you're like, that totally speaks that person's personality. Because now that I started learning about it, I'll hear when somebody's birthday is and I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense for why you're in the field that you're in. Or I totally get like why that's happening to you. That's literally your life path. That's who you are. Your life path will tell you about your themes, your purpose, the lessons that you're going to go through, the karma that you maybe have in your life, the journey that you're going to be on. This is like a grand scope of who you are. And then your day, the day that you're born on, is more of like your personality is going to be. When you learn these and understand these, it's important because it can bring you self-awareness to yourself and have an understanding, have more knowing as to who you are. Because I don't know, I think we can all agree the more that you understand yourself and your quirks and the things that you like and the way that you operate, life just becomes a little bit more simpler because you know why you are the way that you are, and you can maybe emotionally regulate a little bit sooner. You can have more nervous system regulation. You can plan out your life better because you know what you like and what you don't like. And the same thing goes when you understand more about your personality or your life path, things are going to start to make sense. You can also use this in your benefit to start planning your life around numerology, which is what a lot of people, very wealthy people, do. For example, Madonna was an 11 life path, and 11 is a master number, and she ended up being one of the most famous people, literally still to this day. Everybody still knows who Madonna is. She was very famous, very wealthy. She was an incredible leader. She was very confident, but her life path was an 11. Elon Musk, one of the richest people ever, was born on the 28th. 28th is the number of wealth. It's a very wealthy number. If you're born on the 28th or you have a life path number 28th, you're most likely going to have a lot of money. If your kids are born on the 28th, they are most likely, they can affect you, are going to come into more money because that energy is around you. Elon Musk as well and Bill Gates are both life path number 7, which are very visionary. They're very smart, intelligent people. They're analytical, they're independent, they're really great on creating and building things. And it speaks volumes into what they have done and the innovations that they've come up with. So these are just a couple examples of people that have used numerology, but it goes so much further than that with people picking out when they're going to launch their business or launch certain days or start up a new company or release a podcast. If you plan your dates around the energies of the numbers that suit you and pair with your life, but also can lead to more wealth, you're going to start to build a life, manifest a life faster that you want because you are speaking the laws of the universe. You are speaking and acting in one of the languages of the universe, which is through numbers. At this point, you probably know what your number is, you probably know what your birthday is, and you want to know like more about what your numerology is and how it can play a part into your personality and your life path and your purpose. So I'm gonna give you a little breakdown of what each number is. Obviously, dive more into depth about each one of these numbers because I'm just gonna be very brief with it. I know more about my numbers and the people that I surround myself with and their numbers, but this is gonna help you dive a little bit into numerology. So if you are a life path 1 or you're born on the 1st, like myself, you are considered the leader. You have very leadership tendencies. You are very innovative. You are driven. You're really somebody that should be leading something in some sort of industry. That is just what you do well with. You're good with your voice. You're good with leading people. You are the leader. If you have a life path number 2 or you were born on the 2nd, you are considered the peacemaker, okay? You don't like confrontation. You're not somebody that wants confrontation. You have a lot of intuition. You're very empathetic towards people, but one of your challenges can be that you lose yourself trying to keep the peace with other people. You are a number 3. You are very creative, but this is also the number of communication. So you're a natural communicator. You're really good when it comes to talking to people. You should be in an industry where you can not only express yourself, be creative, but also use your words, communicate. There's quite a few people that have very successful podcasts or very successful YouTube channels that have a 3 in their life path or a 3 in their birthday, and they truly excel when it comes down to communicating with people. But also on the creative aspect, you should do something around that brings you joy, around like writing, building, fashion. Just have a creative outlet, because that is where you're truly going to soar. One of their challenges though is having very scattered energy. It can be challenging for them to just really focus on their task. They're very all over the place. So if you can hone in on your focus, on your creative outlets, you're going to do very well. Keep in mind, as I'm reading off these numbers, if this is one of your numbers and you're in a field that is completely opposite of this, and you've been wondering why you don't feel connected, why you feel frustration, annoyance, you're just not getting along with people, it's because you're truly doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. And deep down, you probably already know that, and you're just kind of waiting for a sign to push you over the edge to either quit the job or go into a different industry or start the business, or, you know, have that tough conversation with somebody, move to a different place. Like, you probably know deep down what the thing is and you're feeling unsettled. I hope this brings some clarity as I'm reading off these numbers and kind of the purpose and personality of each of these, the frequency that you're supposed to be on. Go match yourself up with that and be in a space that allows you to express yourself in the way that you're supposed to. Just had to say that. The next number, number 4. 4 is the number of the builder. You're very practical. You don't really like change. This is also a number around a lot of legalities. So going back to talking about like house numbers, if your house number lines up to 4 or it has a lot of 4s in it, maybe in that household you're going to deal with a lot of legal battles or legal things, or you know, something around the legal system. Maybe you love the law system. Okay, that's what 4 is. You also thrive with structure, with planning. You're not somebody that can just kind of go with the flow. You like to have everything situated and figured out before you do something, and to have that solid foundation. You don't want a bunch of changes or things thrown at you. That is number 4. Number 5, you are the freedom seekers. You love to travel, you want to explore, you want to be very free. You're very curious, you want to try new things. You're all over the place. I also want to point out, sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place right now, but even if you have a lot of these numbers in your birthday or surrounding you, you can have these personality traits. Like, for example, because what made me think of it, I'm born in May, which is the 5th month of the year, and I like to travel. I've done a lot of traveling. I used to live inside of a school bus and travel around. I was very much like seeking that freedom. Now, it's not necessarily my personality or my life's purpose, but I do have that energy and I am on that frequency of desiring that a lot more. I thrive when I get some freedom or I get to do more traveling versus somebody that's a lot more of a homebody. They don't want to try new things, right? So even if it's not your life path number or the day that you're born on, but you have a lot of those numbers, it's still going to play a part in who you are. If you are a life path number 6, so you're born on the 6th, you have 6s in your birthday, you are very loving, you're very responsible, you're very much a caretaker. But sometimes, again, you can lose yourself in taking care of other people. You start to over-sacrifice yourself and over-sacrifice your values and your gifts and everything that you have. You give it all away and you lose yourself in it and you feel very depleted. But you are here to create beauty for others, create something incredible, be kind to others, and very much just serve in community. Number 7, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier with Elon Musk, but you're very spiritual, you're very analytical. You are here to search for truths, for deeper meanings to things. You're very smart, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you are number 7, you are quite intelligent. My brother has 7s in his birthday and he is he is smart, okay? He's very analytical and very intelligent. One of their challenges can be withdrawing too much from the world, okay? All of these numbers, they have goods and then they have bads. They have some of their weaknesses. Number 8 is also the number of wealth. It is, you are a powerhouse. You're very ambitious. This is also the number of karma, okay? So if you are a life path 8, or you were born on the 8th, or, for example, 2 and 6 equals up to 8, you are a very karmatic person. Karma is going to come back to you 10 times faster than it's going to come back to anybody else with any other number. You have to live a righteous life, okay? You have to be honest and live a righteous life. If not, it will come back to you immediately. Some of these other numbers, your karma can come back to you in another lifetime. It can come back to you years from now. Not if you're a number 8. It comes back to you right away. I am speaking from experience because I am a life path 8. And it is so crazy how quickly my karma will come back to me. You are also a natural leader. You are a born leader, but you can have a challenge balancing compassion with business. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are an 8. Life path number 9, you are the humanitarian. You are very compassionate. You're here to uplift humanity and break cycles. You are here to truly change the game and change the way for a lot of people, breaking generational curses. You are one of the higher numbers that is here to make change. Or you need to spread a lot of love, but one of your challenges also be letting go of the past, which is super ironic if you really think about, you're here to break the cycles and end things and create love and spread love. But if you're so consumed on what was happened before, you can't actually break those cycles. So it's very ironic. But number 9, that is what you are, the humanitarian. Now, as for master numbers, these are numbers 11, 22, and 33. These numbers do not condense down to 2, 4, and 6. They just stay as they are. These are the highest frequency numbers. Usually your soul has done a lot of growth already. It has been through these other numbers. It has been through all of these lessons, and now you are kind of the master number. If you are an 11, you are very intuitive. You are very, very spiritual. Your intuition, you're very creative. You are here to inspire other people. But you can feel very overwhelmed at times. You can have nervous energy, deal with self-doubt. Again, I really want you to pay attention to the purposes and life paths and the characteristics of these numbers, but then also their challenges, how they're so opposite. So whatever your strengths are, usually the complete opposite thing of that is what you're going to struggle with. Whatever your purposes is, the opposite of that is what one of your challenges is. That's number 11. Number 22, you are considered a master builder. You can turn pretty much any dream into reality. You are a huge visionary. You are incredible when it comes to visionary and bringing things to life. You can struggle with balancing your responsibilities with burnout. And the last one, number 33, you are the master teachers. You're spiritually involved, you're very educated, you're very understanding, nurturing, you're incredible healers. You wholeheartedly embody unconditional love and gratitude and generosity, but something that you can also struggle with is being overwhelmed or neglecting your own needs in life. So that is a brief breakdown of all of the numbers. Again, your life path is going to be more of your purpose. The day you're born on is more of your personality. All of these numbers coincide. Now, the last thing I'm going to touch on is how you can start to use numerology in your everyday life to benefit you, to help you have a better understanding. It's nice to know these and have the awareness, but how can you really use it to your benefit? How can you start using it to be the alchemist of your life? And this is something that I'm starting to do more frequently as I have learned more about numbers and as I'm paying more attention to numerology in life. Say you're about to go buy a house and all of these numbers, and I gave you the life paths and birthdays, but they go a little bit deeper. Like for example, 7 is a very lonely number. If you live in a house that adds up to the number 7, you're most likely going to end in divorce or be lonely. You're maybe a single living in the house. Again, if it adds up to 8, that's the number of money, so you're going to have a lot of wealth in that place. 3, communication, you maybe will struggle with communication. 11 is also a very emotional number, so there could be a lot of arguments happening in that house. So when you're moving into a new place, take note of the number of the house that you're going to move into. And I'm not saying like completely don't live there, but I am suggesting like maybe be cautious if you want to have a healthy relationship and a family, or you're trying to build your business. Pick a date or pick a house number that reflects that. If you're going to launch a new product, you're going to launch a business, pick a day of the month that represents wealth. For example, 8, 26, 17th. Maybe you're going to launch on one of those days. Or you're doing a podcast, so you're going to launch on the 3rd because 3rd is the number of communication. When you're picking out a phone number, you're going to change your phone number to have the numbers in it that reflect love or abundance or whatever it is. You can literally start using numerology in your everyday life to speak and communicate with the universe through numbers to receive what you want. When you're picking a career, when you're picking your new job, what type of job are you going for? It's not just about a paycheck. It's also about, how do you feel at that job? Is it something that aligns with your purpose? Does it resonate with you? Are you allowed to be creative there? Are you in a space where you get to communicate? Are you in a place where you get to become a leader? Like, ask yourself these questions with your current job and the current life that you have. Take an audit of all of these things that are around you, the numbers that are reflecting themselves, and do a quick Google search. The partner that you're with, what day were they born on? It's crazy how accurate this stuff is. And the more you're around your own energy, the more that it amplifies it. A lot of my friends are either born on the 1st or they have one energy in them, but I was also born on the 1st and I have that energy in me, that leadership energy. Or they're 8s, they have life path 8s, or they're born on the 8th or the 17th or the 26th. And the more that I surround myself with people with like energy of me, the more that I thrive into, the highest version of myself and something that I truly love. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed dipping your toes a little bit into the realm of numerology and could learn a little bit more of language of the universe. I highly recommend go searching up some of them on TikTok and your life path number, learn more, do a deep dive into it, and then let me know how much it resonates with you. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. I love you all and have a great day.